To get the prerequisites out of the way, this will not be showing you how to configure your OBS, and it will also not show you the installation process. To get immediately into it, after installing and opening OBS, after adding your display capture, there is going to be a few more things that we need to add. So for one, I highly recommend adding a backdrop. When you tab in and out of games, there will be a small window where OBS doesn't picture it. And if you have a backdrop, it just improves the clarity of your watching experience. I also recommend the game capture one and the display capture one. You have a game capture if you only want to capture one specific game. I typically just use display capture and keep that above all the time, but I do have this if I do want to use it. And then the last thing is an alert sound. I will leave a file in the description for you to use for this, since it sounds like a legitimate sound that would come from your system. If you have not already downloaded the files in the description, do so now. As soon as you have it downloaded, go click the plus under the Sources tab. You are then going to go to Media Source, select that, rename your media source to Alert Sound. When you have that done, click OK. Find the file you just downloaded. I highly recommend placing this file in a safe place, because as soon as this file is deleted, it will no longer play anymore. Once the file is selected, select OK. After you have all of this stuff configured, and after you have your sound, your desktop audio showing up properly, and your microphone showing up properly, then you'll be good to go. First thing we are going to do is go to the sound alert, and this I believe begins in the bottom right corner. Click on the three dots and click on Advanced Audio Properties. From here, I find my sound alert, and then select Audio Monitoring and Monitor Only Mute Output. This means that the stream will not be able to hear it, but I could hear it, and this will be important in a few moments. So the next thing we're going to do is go to the settings. You can either click this settings button right here, or File and then Settings. Next thing you do is you go to the Output tab and check on your recordings right here. You may need to select your output mode as advanced to see your settings menu like I do. Make sure everything is configured here properly. For local recordings, this is different from your streaming settings if you already have OBS-studio set up. We are going to go to Replay Buffer and then click Enable Replay Buffer, and then pick the amount of time you want to have your replay buffer length. This will be how long the clip saves for. I have mine configured right now to 2 minutes and 45 seconds. The lower the amount of time, the less RAM usage your computer will use. Now that you have your replay buffer set up, you have everything that functionally makes the clipping work. However, we're going to add a few quality of life things to make sure it works when you need it to. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the hotkeys page, scroll down to where it says replay buffer, and have a save replay button. This is done by selecting the plus button on the right side. This will automatically save the replay for whenever you push this button. If you scroll down even further, you're going to see one specifically for the alert sound, whatever you have named it. If you forgot what you named it, you can go back here and see what you named it down there. So from the alert sound, you're going to select the restart. We are going to set this as the same as the one we set as the replay buffer, so that when we push the replay buffer button, it plays the sound. So if this one is activated, this one should also be activated. The way you can tell if your replay is actually working is by clicking on your replay button that you previously set, and then seeing the confirmation down here. This will automatically save to your file location, which is configured in your settings, and then output, recording, and then in this area right here. However, we're going to go even one step further to make it automated. The next steps are going to be outside of OBS. And if you have already downloaded the OBSReplay.bat from the link in the description, go to your downloads folder, drag it to your desktop, and then you can skip the next few steps with the .txt file. So what you're going to do is you are going to right click on your desktop, click New, and create a text document. First, rename this text document to OBSReplay.txt, and then open it in Notepad. The next thing you are going to do is paste what you see on screen now into the text prompt. You can also find this in the description below. But let me go over everything simply. The first half of this is telling you where OBS is located on your computer. If you are having issues with this next section, it is likely due to this part right here. In order to confirm that this is correct, please go to your File Explorer, click on the top bar up here, paste what was on the text document. If you can click enter and it shows up with this folder right here, you are good to go. If not, you need to find out where your OBS Studio is located. That can be done as simply as searching for OBS Studio and then clicking on Open File Location, and then doing that one more time. And then if you copy this link right here, and then paste that in this spot, it should resolve the issue. The next portion is telling the startup command on your computer to start the OBS executable found at this location. It is then going to start the replay buffer. It is then going to minimize the system tray. This hides it from being on your taskbar all the time, and it will put it in the system tray, which is right here. This last part is to prevent a pop-up showing up on your computer every time you turn it on. So when you are done, you're going to click on File, Save As, and then save it as OBSReplay.bat, which is a batch file. On the left side, select Desktop, and then save. As you see, I have the batch file right here. We are going to click Windows R on our computer and type in shell:startup. Once you do that, select OK, and then drag the batch file into this folder. Doing this will allow OBS to perform all these things at the startup of your computer rather than you having to do it manually. This is the most important step to get everything to work properly. Now that you are at this page, do not exit yet. We are going to have you close OBS, then I'll have you open the OBS Replay batch file. Once you open the batch file, you may get a pop-up from Windows Defender telling you that this is an unverified app. Just select More Info and Run Anyway. After doing that, you can reboot the system and see if OBS has opened. You should hear at least a portion of your alert sound. To confirm that OBS is working properly, you come down to this caret, and then you should see OBS in the corner right here. And now we have OBS clipping properly configured. If you have any questions, please do leave a comment, and I'll try my best to help you out. Thanks. Stay connected.